Alrighty, week 13 in the NFL is pretty much all but wrapped up. I wanted to take some time to go over pretty much every outcome that has happened so far. As you can see up there for the moment, the Browns and the Broncos right now are in the second quarter. Monday Night Football, can Browns pull off the upset? We'll see. Their defense has been stepping up, and hey, this would be another big win for the Cleveland Browns. But I did want to go over these games. At the very end, I'm going to go over the playoff picture, what we have. That's something that's going to be done every week from here on out. Now, but let's start on these Thanksgiving Day games here. And if you look at the first one, the first matchup, the Bears and the Lions. And this is a game where it looked like the Bears were going to do it. How many times have they done this? Time and time and time again. They have put themselves in position to win these big games, and they have just came up short. This one cost Eberflus's job. One of the worst sequences I've ever seen before to end a game. It made no sense to me. I don't think it made sense to anybody. Clearly didn't make sense to the Bears and their fan base, and that's why he was fired. We'll see if they get on the right track, but the Lions continue their dominant streak and get another win. Moving on to the Giants and the Cowboys, another Thanksgiving Day game. Not much to talk about here with this. The one thing I will say is Dallas continues to win games. They've won 2 in a row now, but the Giants are really bad right now, probably the worst in the NFL. You have weird situations going on at quarterback for them. I don't take too much from Dallas winning this game. I had Dallas winning by more than this, but this is pretty much just 2 bad teams that played. Moving forward, we have the Dolphins and the Packers, and the Packers are really starting to establish themselves as a contender in my books here. I thought Miami had been playing really well. I thought they had been on a streak, but we know how Tua and Miami plays in the cold. They don't play well, and they need to figure that out because you can't win big games if you can't win in the cold unless you get a perfect run out in the playoff, which I don't think they will. Most likely, if you're going to win in the AFC, you got to go through a Buffalo or a Kansas City, and those are both cold road opponents. And Green Bay just came in. They did what they needed to do. Josh Jacobs had a decent game today, but I think the story overall is the Dolphins got to get better in bad weather. The score right here is closer than what it seems. Moving on to the Black Friday game, kind of a weird sequence to end this, where it looked like the Raiders were going to come back and have a shot to win this game. They were in field goal range, and then just a miss at the miss handoff section where the snap's bad, and he's just quarterback's not paying attention, and it cost the Raiders. And now all of a sudden you look up, the Raiders are 2-10. Is Antonio Pierce going to be the head coach next year? I think he will be. I think they're going to give him some more time, but it is something to talk about here that the Chiefs, they get this win, sure, but they've had some shaky victories. I think Buffalo might be better than them this year. We'll see, though. I know the playoffs get weird, but I think Buffalo might be better than them this year. Moving on to the Sunday slate of games, Steelers-Bengals. My biggest takeaway from this game is that the Bengals have one of the worst defenses in the NFL. I thought that they were bad, but I didn't think they were this bad. You're letting a kind of weird Steelers offense that I don't know what to make of them. You're letting them score 44 points. I know there was a defensive touchdown, but still, that's a lot of points for Russell Wilson. And you let Russell Wilson throw for 414 and 3 touchdowns. Najee ran all over him. And the Bengals, I knew they'd put up points. I just didn't think the Steelers could put up this many. So that was very surprising. The Bengals, next year, the emphasis has to be, hey, we got to get better on defense. We got to get better on defense for the Cincinnati Bengals. You're going to have to spend some money if you want to win the Super Bowl, and you're going to have to draft. First round for them, I would go with the best defensive player available at their pick, which could be a top 10 pick the way they're playing now. And then after that, I would probably go corner or whatever other need. Interior D-line. They need a lot of stuff. They need a lot of stuff. Going on to the Chargers and the Falcons. Chargers just found a way to win. This is the kind of way that I thought they'd win. Kirk Cousins, 4 interceptions is bad. And we know that that's bad. And they're still leading this division, but this division, at first it looked like, wow, this division is pretty good, and it's like it's where it is. And I think that Tampa would actually have around like 8 wins right now if they didn't have those injuries to their receiving core. I think Tampa wins this division. I don't like the way the Falcons are trending. Chargers just keep finding ways to win. They're a playoff team, won't go too far, but it is remarkable that Harbaugh's came in there and kind of turned things around. And Herbert looks good. Moving on, we go to the Cardinals and the Vikings. And this is a game that I thought the Cardinals completely had. I thought they had it on lock. Kyler Murray was throwing balls to Marvin Harrison Jr. I thought everything was going good. And then the Vikings have done what they've been doing recently. They found a way to come back in this and win at the end. Sam Darnold made plays. They all kind of made plays, and they won it at the end. And, how legit is this team? I don't know, but it was impressive. Arizona, they're a talented team, I think, but they can't choke a game like this. And I think they're more Minnesota is talented, but they're winning. A lot of these games are really close, so I don't know what to make of them. Usually that smells a first-round exit, but we'll see. We'll see how it shakes up. Colts, Patriots, really don't have much to say other than the Colts are they're fighting for a playoff spot right now. I don't think they're dead in that division yet either. They found a way to win. It shouldn't have been this close. Drake May played a good game, 24 of 30, 238 yards, but not a lot of big takeaways from this particular game for me. But the Colts, I will say, won it at the end, took some guts, and they found a way to do it. I respect it. Seahawks and Jets. If you're looking at the Jets, just another bad loss. I don't see how you can bring Aaron Rodgers back at this point. And Seattle did not play their best game. They were down like 21-7, I think, at one point in this game. It wasn't very close. And then they just found a way over time to come back in this game and beat the Jets. And the Jets just continue to find ways to lose. Not a great team right now are the Jets. They just run into trouble, and they put themselves in bad spots, and they haven't been good. I don't know what you need to do at this point, but I think it involves probably just completely restarting, and that means also getting rid of Aaron Rodgers. Titans, Commanders blew them out. I thought this is what I expect from the Titans. They got a weird win a few weeks ago. They got a weird win. This is what I expect from them. You don't have great quarterback play. 18-37 speaks for itself. I thought Jaden Daniels stepped up. He had been getting a lot of criticism recently that he had been regressing. I thought he played good in this one, and they're still kind of squarely. We'll see in the playoff picture. They're in pretty decent shape if they just hold on to a few more wins. Texans, Jags. I think the alarming thing is how close it is. Like, Trevor Lawrence got injured pretty badly in the first half of this game, and Mac Jones is pretty terrible. We've seen that from other tape, and the Texans barely won. They're starting to really scare me. I'd be pretty scared if I was a Texans fan right now. It's not looking good. It's not looking good for them right now, and I don't know where you need to find more success, but yeah, it's not looking good for them right now. Rams, Saints. Rams have been a lot better since everybody's been healthy, but you can't really take much away from this. It's the Saints. The Saints have, since they fired their head coach, they've put themselves in a spot where they're capable, but there's just not much you can really take from a game like this. That division's wide open, though, at this point. That division's wide open, so it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens throughout that. Panthers, Bucs, Bryce Young playing a lot better. I thought Bucky Irving had a really good game in this. Mike Evans. It just goes to show how important Baker having his receivers are in these games. And if you look at it, yeah, Bucky Irving played a really good game. But Bryce Young's looking better. I mean, he did have 20 incompletions, but, 298, 1 TD. He's playing a lot better than what I thought, and, it's an overtime victory. Eagles and Ravens, a game that was probably looked like it was going to be more of the entertaining one. Ravens got off to like a 9-0 lead. Then Eagles kind of took over from there, and Ravens had a shot in this, but you look at it, Justin Tucker was missing some field goals in this game. Only Lamar Jackson's second loss. against an NFC opponent in his career, putting him to like 33-2. But the Eagles are very for real. They're a top 4 team in the NFL. They have a legitimate Super Bowl shot, I think. Saquon Barkley has just been so big for him. It's been one of the most incredible stories that I've covered, and he is really, really playing well this year. And if you're the Ravens, I don't know what to make of them. I don't know if they can win the Super Bowl at this point. I don't know. There's a lot of limitations, and it doesn't have to do with Lamar, but I think there's limitations to this team. I really do. And then you go to the 49ers and the Bills, and this is a game where the Bills just outclass them. Christian McCaffrey, obviously, he's done for probably the year, and it just makes sense to what I said. It's one of those years where the 49ers just didn't click. That's the message, and that's pretty much what happened this year. Stuff just didn't click for the 49ers, and I think they'll have a shot next year if they can be healthy. They are getting older, but their season's pretty much over, in my opinion. They could go on a run, but with Christian McCaffrey out, I mean, and you have a lot of other guys out, I think it's a watch. Buffalo's for real. Josh Allen kind of did everything in this game, but they're very for real. Cook, I mean, this is a team that looks better than the Chiefs right now in the AFC, but we'll see how it shakes up. Going on to the playoff picture here. And, I mean, I'm excited about it. If you look at it here, right now what we're looking at is the Chiefs would have the first round bye, Lions. But I think the biggest part to look at is that wild card spot. The division winners are kind of set in stone right now. Like the Chiefs are going to win their division. Bills are going to win their division. Steelers, it's going to be tough for the Ravens to battle back, I think. And then the Texans most likely are going to win theirs. If you look at the wild card teams, Broncos, Ravens, Chargers, I mean, the Colts are right there with Denver, and if Denver loses tonight, obviously that's huge. Miami's somewhat, they play the Jets next. So, I mean, there's a lot of possibilities here, and we're not that intense into it, but I just kind of wanted to make it known right now. And I think it sits. I don't know if the Colts squeeze in, but I think the teams that are in right now in the AFC are going to be the teams. We'll see, though. Things change. If you go over to the NFC, look at them. I think it sits as well, because if you look at it, when we scroll down here, okay, so never mind. I do see another scenario, but if you're looking at it, you're like 8-5 Washington, then you have Arizona. That's a lot of ground. That's more ground than you think that they have to catch up with, and you have to get some losses, and San Francisco looks out to me. They look out. But I think Tampa Bay is going to win this division and move to 4. Easily the worst division. But yeah, that's all I got for today. I'll be back for the Week 14 picks.